Hey guys, so today I kind of wanted to make a vlog about more to do with my sensory issues. So in a previous vlog I mentioned how I don't really tend to leave the flat on my own unless I'm with someone, and a lot of that is to do with my panic and generalized anxiety disorders, but also a lot of it is to do with my sensory issues that I have. So I've been to my doctor about these sensory issues because I'm literally mainly have daily overloads. I can't cope with outside stimuli. Um, so this video is inspired because one of my friends recently asked me what it was like to have a sensory overload, or what it's like to experience the outside world being really overwhelming and really overstimulating, and how it causes an overload. Obviously, it's like anything, it's different for everyone. So for me, today's a bad day. I've been on overload. I've watched too much TV. So I've watched too much. I've had too much visual and auditory sensory input today. I also went out this morning for the first time on my own to try and build myself up to go out more on my own. So it started this morning when I went out. I decided to go out about 10. That's when the shop opened, which is around the corner from me. It's like a crafty kind of store. It has loads of random different cool things in there, like loads of house objects and things. So it's like this really cool general store that's got, like, I don't know, decent prices. So I was panicking before I left the flat because I was thinking about the journey ahead, and I was thinking, oh my god, I'm really worried that I'm going to have a panic attack, or I'm going to have sensory issues and that's going to cause a panic attack. So I wear noise cancelling headphones when I leave the flat on my own. They are Bluetooth, so I can listen to music and it blocks out all other auditory stimuli. Because when I don't wear noise cancelling headphones and I'm on my own, I seem to have a heightened sense of noise and everything going on around me. Everything just feels like its volume has been increased to 100%. I struggle with that. I find it's very overwhelming and intense, and it then causes me to panic. So, for instance, when I got to the shop, I had my headphones on, so I didn't have the noise because they do play a radio in there. They have a radio station playing. So I cut out the auditory stimuli, but I then had the smell and the overwhelming amount of choice of one thing in a shop, like a variety of the same thing, which was overwhelming me because it's a decision and I don't know how to make those. So it was triggering my GAD and my panic disorder, as well as the sensory issues. And also, they had like really strong incense in there, and that for me was so overpowering and so overwhelming. I started panicking because I literally just wanted to peel my face off. It's like there's an itch in my brain that I can't scratch. It's like my brain is on overdrive trying to process everything, but it's like an old Windows system. It can't run new software. That's kind of my best analogy for it. I struggle to process all the information, and it takes me a really long time to process information. I get information overload, and a lot of the time, if I'm not out with a Tangle toy, which is like a sensory fidget toy, I can't cope. This is one of my coping mechanisms. It kind of keeps me grounded. So this morning I forgot it twice when I went out. 10 out of 10 me. So hand flapping occurred. So I do this a lot when I'm stressed, and most of the time it happens at night when I'm decompressing and my brain's had to process so much information throughout the day. But today, because I haven't had my Tangle toy with me when I went out this morning, and I had a sensory overload, like a lot of hand flapping occurred, and I was just like picking at myself, like just like scratching my arms like this, and just kind of like getting really agitated. So I got back in, and then I basically just spent the whole day on the couch watching Big Bang Theory, and just by doing that alone with the windows open, I caused another overload because I also had a flat viewing today. So my landlord's selling my block of flats, and literally there was like, I don't know, 15 to 20 men in there. I didn't count how many people came to the viewing, but I was present, and they were all so loud, and I was literally like, I wanted to cry because it was so heightened and it was so painful, and it took me a long time to calm down. And I'm still not really that calm. Like, I would probably go to bed soon because I just want to lay under my sensory lamp and kind of like chill and play with my Tangle toy, and just like maybe play a few games on my phone on silent. Maybe sleep. I don't know. I just kind of, I need to decompress. So a lot of the time for me, it's also, I find lights as well. So this weather where it's like super bright out because of the sun, I find that's also trigger. It's kind of like I can't process everything, so everything's coming at me from every angle, and it's like when you have, I don't know, like 40 tabs open on a laptop, and one tab's playing music, another one's froze, and one's still buffering. It's kind of like that. That's what my brain's doing. So somewhere it's trying to process this music that's playing whilst it's trying to unfreeze this other tab, and whilst it's trying to buffer a whole load of information, and it just doesn't work. So I get really overwhelmed and panicked, and then a lot of the time it causes twitching. It causes a physical reaction for me. So I start twitching a lot of the time when I'm overwhelmed, when I'm in a situation that's overwhelming, too loud, too intense, which is basically every situation you could put me in at the moment. So a lot of the time I twitch, and then that triggers my social anxiety because I'm aware I'm twitching and I can't really stop it. But I'm also trying to process everything, like having a conversation with a friend. I'm trying to process all that information he's given me in the conversation, as well as all the other surrounding stimuli, and try not to be aware that I'm twitching, and try to like combat the anxiety at the same time. It's exhausting. I'm just chronically exhausted, and it's really difficult. It's hard, and I find the outside world is really intense and overwhelming and loud and scary. And like I have a dentist appointment tomorrow, so this is a prime example of my sensory issues at the moment in full play, which is triggering my GAD and my panic disorders. So it's like dominoes, basically. One triggers the other and everything falls. So a dentist appointment tomorrow. I mean, sure, if people don't like dentists, but they kind of just go, oh, I'll go get over with. Me, I'm panicking in advance because of the overhead lights that's going to be in front of me, all the noise, the smells, and just all the information, because it's a new dentist, and I probably need work done on my teeth. I'm not gonna lie, like they really do need some work on them. So for me, I'm freaking out. I'm literally like, I'm so anxious about it because I have a social phobia of the dentist anyway. In combination with the sensory issues, it's just incredibly difficult. I'm gonna find this situation really overwhelming, and I think my main concern is that I'm gonna have a panic attack, or I'm gonna have a meltdown because of the sensory issues, and I'm gonna end up resulting in a sensory overload, and I'm stuck in a dentist's, and it's like a 15-minute bus journey. So I then have to travel home. I mean, my friend is coming with me, so it's not too bad. But I have to still travel while I'm in that kind of state, and it's all kind of really overwhelming. So, I've been to my doctors, and I've now been referred to the autism team. So I think they're going to do an autism assessment. But I don't know if I'm autistic. I have a feeling it might be sensory processing disorder. I'm not entirely sure at the moment. I would just like to know why this is happening. This has been happening to me since as long as I can remember. I think I can remember going back to being 4 years old and having issues with tags rubbing on my skin, socks pinching my toes, like having meltdowns, just like randomly like start screaming and crying, unable to calm down for a long time. Like I would just switch and I would just kind of like completely have a breakdown. So I think it would just be nice to know why this happens, so I know what's going on and I can learn how to develop more coping strategies to actually be able to leave the flat more and be able to do stuff, because at the moment I basically just spend all my time in the flat unless I'm out with someone. And even just being in the flat, I give myself sensory overloads because even the stimuli that's controlled within my flat is overwhelming in combination with having my windows open. So yeah, it's all very overwhelming. So big thank you to Abby for inspiring me to make this video. I wasn't sure what to vlog about because last time I vlogged about sensory issues and like my GAD and like generalized anxiety disorder and panic disorder. So I wasn't entirely sure. Also, I did start a blog about like my health problems and where I kind of just write about stuff. Don't know if anyone's interested in that. If they are, give this video a thumbs up and I'll post the link in the description below. Anyway, I'm gonna go chill out underneath my sensory lamp because everything is just today. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.